Shalom. First and foremost, as always, before I get started with my lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. And this is going to be basically a response, all right, to the elder from South Carolina. All right, he did a video on this Israelite Judite woman. All right, she did a video going to basically how, if you think you're an Israelite, all right, or if you are an Israelite and you think that black people are above all people, all right, just because of your skin color, then you're wrong. All right, and I want to get into some scriptures, okay, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna install this TikTok, all right, of this Israelite woman, all right. Her grandparents, all right, are both, it looks like, to be from the southern tribe, but I could be wrong. They could be from the northern tribe, because again, skin color is purely just an indicator, because you can look at me and you'll swear that I'm probably from one of the southern tribes, but in actuality, my great-grandfather and my grandfather, they were from the tribe of Gad. So I'm a Gadite. All the while I thought I was a Levite, but in actuality, all right, I'm a Gadite, man. All right, his mother, all right, my grandfather, mother, my grandmother, she was a Haitian. She was a so-called, Haitian. She was from the tribe of Levi, actually, which, why I kind of thought so, because, the features, the facial features, how every tribe, you can kind of look at them a little bit and you can kind of tell who's a Gadite. You can tell who's, from, their respective tribes, just because of their certain features that they have, whether it be their hair, their high cheekbones, or whatever the case may be. But nevertheless, it's not about color. All right, it's not about color at all. It's all about the spirit. All right, and when you read the scriptures, all right, they tell you, all right, not to judge a man by his outward appearance. All right, but rather, all right, his spirit. All right, let me get this real quick. All right, this is 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. It says, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for the Lord looketh on the outward for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." All right, he looks on the spirit. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushua looks at the spirit of a man. All right, a spirit of an Israelite man at that. A great example is who is it? David and Goliath. Everybody was looking at the outward appearance of David, but all right, the Lord looked at his heart, his spirit. All right, because ultimately, in your mind, all right, in your heart, because your mind is your heart, all right, is where the spirit dwells. All right. So again, it says 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. It says, "But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." So the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he looks at the heart, man. All right, he looks at the spirit of a man and see if he's right or not. All right, an Israelite man at that, not a heathen, because you got to be an Israelite man, all right, to be a servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, let me get this real quick. This is John chapter 7, verse 24. It says, "Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgments." All right, because anybody can walk up and look like a so-called white person, a so-called Indian person, a so-called, Chinese, Japanese person. But, the spirit, the lineage of that man goes back to, a so-called black man, all right, an Israelite man, all right. It's the spirit that dwells within that person, all right, the bloodline that person goes back to that identifies that person of who they are. All right, matter of fact, let me grab that real quick and let me grab that in Numbers. Bear with me for a second. This is Numbers 1:18. It says, "And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward by their posts." Now, let me go to the blue letter real quick. And I want to see what that word pedigree says. All right.
Strong's H3205. Yaled. Yaled.
It says a primitive root to bear, to bring forth gender. Oh, 1 second. Bear with me for 1 second. And look at the pull up the Google definition of that word. All right. All right. It says a pedigree is a record of an ancestral line or a genealogical chart, especially for a purebred animal. But it can also refer to a person's lineage or ancestry. All right, basically bloodline. All right, let's go down here. It says basically lineage. All right. One second. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Akim. All right. Ancestry, bloodline, descent, line of descent, line, origin. Yep, Khan. That's what the definition means right there. So right, ancestry, bloodline. All right, descent, line of descent, lineage. All right, the origin of. All right, so it's basically, again, going into the bloodline, all right, of that person. All right, so if your bloodline goes back to an Israelite man, regardless of your outward characteristics, slanted eyes, all right, very dark skin, white skin, whatever you want to call it, because there's not really anything called white or black skin, very brown, dark brown, or, red, or whatever you want to call it, all right, transparent, whatever, no matter what your skin color is, all right, if your spirit is of an Israelite man, or goes back to the line of an Israelite man, then you are Israelite. All right, let me grab this. This is Romans 8:16. It says, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirits that we are the children of Yahweh. So it's the spirit in the man, all right, that determines if you are a child of the Heavenly Father, man. All right. And she went on to go on and say, as well as, we possibly in our past life could have been white, or we possibly could have been a blade of grass and tree or fly or whatever the case may be. And that's not the case either, man. If you was an Israelite, whatever gender or ethnicity, race you are now, that's what you were in your past life. All right. The scriptures say a false balance, all right, is an abomination to Yahweh Shem Shai. So if you are an Israelite now, you were an Israelite then. All right. If you were Israelite man now, you were an Israelite man then. All right. If you was a Edomite then, you're an Edomite now. All right. So forth and so on. All right. So let me get this real quick. All right. Because the Lord is only dealing with Israel. That's it. And it's so hard for these Christians and everybody else to comprehend that, man. All right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, Yahweh. The Lord Yahweh thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So Yahweh Shem Shai has chosen Israel, all right, to be above all people that are on the face of the earth. And what proof is that, man? All right. When you go into Revelation and speak about how, all right, Jerusalem shall come down, all right, and how there's only going to be 12 gates, but yet there's 18 nations. How is that possible? Because the Lord is only dealing with what? The 12 tribes of Israel. He's not dealing with every other nation. All right. Because the laws itself were only given to Israel. All right. Let's go here. All right. This is Ezra chapter 3, verse 11. And they sang together by course and praise and giving thanks unto the Lord, because he is good, for his mercy endureth forever towards Israel, not the world, Israel. And all the people shouted with a great shout, they that praise the Lord, because the foundation of the house of the Lord was laid. Okay? And basically, that's how it's going to be in the kingdom, man. When, we are established. We're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. And all the other nations are going to have to do the exact same as well. They're going to have to pay tributes, all right, to Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, just how we pay taxes. All right, they're going to have to do the exact same thing, pay tributes, bring the finest linens, the finest cloths, all right, the best rubies and diamonds and everything that you can think. Well, diamonds are really, really not that special. Rubies and all the precious stones, okay? Those are going to be brought, all right, to, our homeland, man. All right, and they will have to participate in the high holy days and the Sabbaths and all other things that we do, just like we have to do it here. They're going to have to do the exact same thing. And if they don't, they're going to get their beat, all right? Or, we ain't going to make, they're going to be in their land and they ain't going to get no rain or nothing. Their crops going to die or this, that, and the third, man, all right? So, yeah, man, that's what's going to happen, man, in the kingdom. Let me get this real quick. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying. So let's pause for a second. Did the Lord take every nation, all right, or every race from Egypt and deliver them out of that? No, he didn't. He only delivered Israel, all right? One of the most, historical events, the biggest historical event in, the Bible, the deliverance of the Israelites from Egypt and the splitting of the Red Sea. He did that for the Israelites, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua did that for the Israelites. He didn't do that for anybody else. All right. Matter of fact, he destroyed, all right, Pharaoh's, you know, soldiers, the ones that were trying to follow the Israelites through the sea. All right. Still to this day, there's chariots, all right, in the water. All right. Just to prove to you that the Lord doesn't care about everybody, man. It says, verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore will I punish you for all your iniquity. And that's why we, basically was in the hand of the Egyptians. And why we are in the hand of the modern day Egyptians here today. All right, for the disobedience of not following the commandments, worshiping other gods, all right, doing spiritual fornication. All right, hadn't any other nation did that, they would be fine. But since we are the apple of the Lord's eye, all right, now we're suffering, the penalties of going off. All right. So that in itself shows you that only Israel matters. I'm going to end it out on this last scripture right here. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 57. It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creations, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So out of the Adamites, all right, that the Lord had chosen a specific group of people, all right, to be chosen. And it says, again, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord over all thy creations, of him come we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen. So the Lord has chosen a special. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. So the Lord made the world for our sake. All right, so we can be fruitful and multiply. All right, and that the name of the Lord shall go throughout the whole earth. All right, and that, the other nations see it as well. How the scriptures say, surely this is the people of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 56, as for the other people whom also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing but like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the Lord is basically saying, just like how you spit on the ground, all right, he has counted the other nations as nothing. All right, just as if you was to carry a bucket of water, all right, and you accidentally spill some over while you carrying it to wherever you carrying it to, and some accidentally spill over, you're not gonna trip over, a little bit that spills over. All right, you worrying about the abundance of what's left in the what's in the bucket. So that's how the Lord looks at these other nations. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. So that's basically what they have been doing. All right. They were counted that, like the scriptures say, I've seen servants on horses and kings, walking upon the earth, roughly paraphrasing. So in actuality, these people should be the servants, man. All right. But, the Lord has brought us to a lower state to basically be an example, to not basically go against your power, go against your Lord. All right. So in the kingdom of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, all right, we're going to get the throne back through Yahweh Shemi Awashai. All right. The 12, King David. All right. And the elect are going to rule over the other nations, and they're going to be, all right, basically our slaves, man. All right. The nations, all right, was so much of an equal, and everybody was so much of equal. All right. Then, the other nations wouldn't have to serve us, or wouldn't have to serve, all right, the 12 tribes. But that's not the case, man. And that's because ultimately, they haven't been given the understanding, and as well as they're just blind to see it, or they don't want to see it. But hey, that's just the way things are, man. All right. That's why there's elect, and that's why there's, vessels that are just made to be, destroyed for dishonor. So with that, Lord willing, this video was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time, I say Shalom.